Two teams are challenging for one of the greatest prizes in Team 10-pin. The very best from the USA and Europe have travelled to the Metrodome. One session complete, 4 more to go. This is day 2 of the Just Eat Weber Cup. The format is simple enough. The magic number here at the Weber Cup is 19. It's the first team to reach that target that claims the trophy. 1 point per match, with the matches consisting of singles, doubles and a baker. A team match involving all 8 players. As for the scoring, it's been simplified. The matches are played over 10 frames, there's no extra shot in the 10th. A strike is worth 30, and of course the magical score still remains the 300 game. The opening session saw the traditional Baker match, all 8 players involved, and it was the Americans who triumphed, and they did it in style. 1 strike short of a perfect game. Next up, Kyle Troop, another big performance, this time against European captain Dominic Barrett. The flag waving was put on hold for match 3. Europe struck back via Jesper Svensson, a player who has yet to lose a singles match. The sense of relief was short-lived as the American captain Sean Rash hit back with a 3-pin win over Martin Larsen. No matter how tight the margin, a point is a point, and the Americans had taken 3 of the first 4 on offer. Match 5 saw the Europeans field one of their most experienced players, Stuart Williams, but he failed to find the winning line. Marshall Kent did and ran out a comfortable winner. Kyle Troop was really looking to hammer home the advantage for the Americans, but he faced Jesper Svensson, a man who remarkably has never lost a singles match in the Weber. He kept that record going and European hopes alive. Dominic Barrett followed that up with another captain's performance, banishing doubts about his early form in this tournament. And the tournament progressed into day 2, and Barrett once again took up the challenge, picking up where he had left off. Another point, and at last Europe were level with the Americans. It didn't last. Before the Europeans could get used to their newfound parity, Team USA struck through the doubles. Troop and Tackett taking out Barrett and Svensson, the USA ahead again. There is a renewed determination about this American side. Having hit the front again, they weren't going to let go. Troop on again, and he inflicted the first ever singles defeat on Svensson. Confirmation of all the scores from day 1, and it was a session that clearly belonged to the Americans. Plenty of red down the right-hand side and the chance for a comprehensive statement by the Americans. But Svensson and Barrett saved the day for the Europeans, keeping them within touching distance of their rivals. The good news for Team Europe continued in the opening match of day 2, a win for Barrett, who has clearly rediscovered his form, but the red stamp of the USA imposed itself on the next 2 matches. The rest of the day filled with doubles and singles, the first of which sees Martin Larsen team up with Stuart Williams to take on Marshall Kent and Sean Rash.
I mean, we've been here a couple of times now, so we kind of know how we're thinking as a group, and moving forward, we're just going to try to bowl a little bit better than yesterday.
We've been here a lot of times before, and usually on Super Saturday, the European team come good, so that's what we're hoping for today.
I think we have the ability to take what they got, and we're going to go out there and make some good shots and see what happens.
Time then to join our commentary team of Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
The first appearance of the session for Stu Williams and Martin Larsen going up against the interesting American combination of Marshall Kent, who will be taking part in 4 straight, and the main reason that he is playing in 4 straight is mainly because of the lower back problems from the American captain Sean Rash. He's going to limit himself to just 1 doubles game right here. It'll be interesting to see how the back holds up for Rash, and it'll be interesting to see how Kent holds up for Team USA, and whether the Europeans can take advantage.
Yes, Nick, very much a marathon session coming up for Marshall Kent, and as you say, Sean Rash has had a lower back muscle spasm, and it will be interesting to see how he gets on. And everyone's mic'd up, so we're going to hear what they've got to say to one another, whether it be good, bad or indifferent.
Well, this is a man who's always got plenty to say anyway. Stu Williams.
You're first. I don't see that one picking up soon enough. You don't think it will? I like the bigger balls better. Okay.
Yeah, let's see how he moves. Let's see how comfortable he looks when he's bowling. The skipper. Couldn't see any noticeable physical problems there.
No, there was no grimace on his face, was there?
He's got with the bigger ones, you can at least control the one in front.
These guys just running through their practice routine, and
We'll come off it harder. Yeah.
they've been talking to one another about what's going on.
I like it either yet. I mean, I'm going to move another 2 here. Yeah, if you're bowling next game, then yeah. But yeah. That's like bigger. I just want you to see it now. Yeah. I want you to know what I got to go through. Yeah. All right. I do, but it's for fucking
Williams needs to get himself back on track. He lost yesterday to Marshall Kent in singles play. Those two will meet next in singles play as well. That one went 268, 244 in favour of the American.
Thanks, boss.
All good pals together. They'll play in America together on the PBA Tour and in tournaments around the world, so they are all know one another very well.
It's you. Yeah, I got it.
And that should be the end of the practice session.
Williams got the game face on today.
All right, good luck, Mark.
Stu is one of those serious players, although he's a very humorous man when it comes to standing on the lane and playing head-to-head match play. He is very serious.
And here's the man who's got the record of never having lost in a Weber Cup, Martin Larsen. He's the talisman of the team.
I don't want to pick that one up.
See if we can.
Which seat do you want?
Might start with this one just to work.
Well, there's going to be a lot of talking going on in this match, of that you can be sure. Probably not a lot of trash talking, but it'll be interesting to listen in as they talk about the adjustments they make, how the lane is bowling. And Martin Larsen, the 38-year-old Swede, will get this doubles match underway, and he's got a Brooklyn hit immediately, so that is not the way he would have wanted to start.
Nick is freshly dressed lane. New lane condition gone down to 40 feet. There's heavy oil in the middle of the lane. Tapers away on the outside, but that shot has just hooked back in the last 20 feet. Gone Brooklyn. And Stu Williams had to spare it, so they're off to a 19-pin starter.
It's okay, you can take whichever one you want.
I don't know.
Just throw a strike.
Well, I didn't try very good there.
Ah, you went for the EJ9. Come on.
Williams just trying to G up his partner there. Marshall Kent, the start of his 4-match marathon right here.
Well, start as you mean to go on, and Marshall Kent has done just that. Absolutely ripped the rack. High five from the USA captain, Sean Rash.
And a little bit of a look over to the Europeans as they went back, as he went back to his chair there, the two Americans.
You want to go again?
He's having some fun.
Kind of.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sean Rash has to step up next and shoot at 10 pins.
Well, Larsen still hasn't exactly got the... oh, he's got it. A delayed reaction. It beat the mechanism. My goodness me. That's why they call him Lucky Larsen.
Well, I kind of thought it might go, so I called it as go on. Here it comes. Well caught, the cameraman. It just goes.
Just as the pickup came down. Hey, they don't need luck, the Americans, with pocket hits like that. And what is exactly the problem with Sean Rash's lower back?
Good. I didn't want to shoot a spare yet.
Well, maybe he's recovered. Maybe he's had a bit of chiropractic treatment up in the green room. There's the single pin that did the damage.
Just
Larsen's lucky strike.
Yeah, really. Just as the mechanism was coming to claim that standing pin as well. So Williams will get a full rack to bowl out, and he too is not quite in the pocket.
Well, he shouted out, "Oh boy," as the ball came off his hand, so he was maybe left of his mark as soon as it hit the lane. So he's left the 3, 6 and the 10 standing up, which should be a straightforward spare for his partner Martin Larsen. Yeah, very much an overreaction in the back end, and lucky to get that 7 pin out as well.
But between them, the Europeans have not managed a clean pocket hit yet in this match.
So bad.
Well, time to settle down. As I say, it's freshly dressed. The last 20 feet of the lane up to the headpin is dry at the moment, but there's plenty of balls going down there, and they're all on the right-hand side of the lane, so oil will transition down, and it may well be that within 2 or 3 frames these guys are going to be having to look for a different line, make some adjustments either with their line of the ball or their feet on the approach.
Well, let's see if there's a counter argument to that, and here it comes. The Europeans are having all sorts of trouble. You're talking about adjustments, bowling exactly the same side of the lane. These two are having no issues whatsoever.
Team USA with the edge in this doubles match. More to come after the break. Welcome back to the Weber Cup. It's the 11th match in this race to 19. Each match worth a single point. Overall, it's Team USA who lead their European rivals. And in this particular match, a doubles featuring Larsen and Williams for Europe and Kent and Rash for America. It's the Americans who hold a slight lead. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
Oh, it's another hit that is just not finding the pocket. Well, this really is going from bad to worse here for the Europeans. I mean, they're lucky that they've been able to stay clean, but that's 4 frames, and they've not yet had a pocket hit.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a great shot from Stewart. Again, left of his target as the ball came off the hand. It was left-hand side of the line, and it was only going to go left.
So that leaves Larsen shooting at spares again. Well, let's see if they do have a little bit of a head-to-head here and just try and work out what's going on. No, nothing to say. Well, that tells its own tale.
Stu Williams really working up a sweat as well.
Whoa, well, drifting out of the pocket, and that changes the dynamics a little bit.
Yeah, it's the 4, 7 and the 9. I mean, the ball was really diving in at such an angle, wasn't it? Hard and fast. Hits the headpin a little bit higher. Leaves 4, 9 is the normal leave, but it's got the 7 pin with it. It's a makeable spare that Marshall Kent is going to have to shoot at. He's got to hit that 4 pin very finely on the left-hand side, and it will bounce across to the 9. But accuracy is what's needed here to prevent it being an open frame.
Big test for the Seattle man. You can see what he was trying to do. But it's an open frame, it's a low pin count, and it's made it a competitive match now.
Yeah, just 14 pins in it now. It's amazing how the scores can close up
I didn't think it was 4-7
quickly on this world bowling scoring system.
But before, the European players get too excited. They've got to try and find a really good pocket hit that takes all 10 pins.
What's the worst that could happen? One good shot.
It could be that Stewart's going to change his line here. He did say to himself, what's the worst that can happen? And it looks like a change of ball as well. Well, it was close, but it wasn't close enough, unfortunately, for a strike.
He's having a tough time out there, Stu Williams.
Yeah, one of the stalwarts of the Weber Cup squad for years now, and yes, he is struggling at this particular time. Poor Martin Larsen is just picking up spares for fun.
That was a real frustrating one as well for these guys.
So I think off that, I just need to throw it a little slower.
It's just really hard to do those small adjustments.
I just don't feel comfortable with what I'm trying to do.
No. Still a chance though.
Do it. Yeah, baby.
Well, if Stuart Williams wasn't feeling comfortable, he'll be feeling even more uncomfortable now as Sean Rash gets back on strike, and that's a nice healthy cushion that they've got against an opponent who, as we've just heard by his own admission, is really having a tough time out there.
And the Americans look happy together. Lots of talk and chat.
Feels much more better.
Unfortunately, the Europeans aren't talking very much at all.
And he's got to pull himself out of this because he's in singles action next. He has got to get himself out of this slump somehow. Sometimes one strike is all it needs. There it is. Now, is that the turning point here?
Yes! That's how excited he is.
Yes.
I hope you will.
Kind of fortunate because that 10-pin was the last one to go, and it went through very slowly. Yes, he's now going to push Martin Larsen into the #1 slot, and he's going to have to shoot the strikes. There's the 10-pin standing. It gets a little kick up the rear end, doesn't it? And away it goes. And that's what it means to Stu Williams.
Here's Marshall Kent. That wasn't the greatest pocket hit. Really thin on the head pin. It just keeps the Europeans hanging around in this match.
Yeah, it's not the greatest difference between them. That last shot just went on too long, didn't it? Didn't come back and hit the headpin properly at all. Sean's just about make a single pin spare, and he'll high five somebody for that. Yes.
They're shooting 101. How are we
It's
doing?
only 14 pins difference. We're past the halfway stage of this game, coming up to frame 7 now. So any team that can hit a couple of strikes could
I missed it at the bottom.
really take advantage in this game.
It seems to have been forever since Martin Larsen had a full rack to aim at. Oh dear, oh dear.
That was probably my fault.
They haven't quite mastered this back end, this 20 feet of dry back end at the moment. Very, very tight line. It wasn't going to go anywhere except left, and it was high left of the head pin, leaving 2 in the corner for Williams to spare.
Which he's done, and it's looking bleak here for the Europeans.
Yeah, that's the punishment you get for throwing 4 bad shots in a row, like I get. You know, I threw 4 bad ones, and you don't even get to throw another shot. We're going to do move another few off that and open up.
Yeah, well, it's like I didn't give it a chance. Yeah. But I think I have to move a little bit more.
Yeah, me too.
But it was like it never got to the spot.
Both of them just fighting the lane. In contrast, the Americans looking comfortable, they're laughing and joking. They're enjoying themselves. That wasn't another good hit, but he's got the luck.
Who else is getting one of them?
Well, occasionally a player has to get lucky, and Marshall Kent has just got lucky. It's a great looking shot. It's hard and fast. It's high on the head pin, and there's some flying deadwood coming around, and that 4-pin's now gone. Have that.
I let go of that. I was like, oh.
The difference moves to 26 pins.
Well, just about everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for the Europeans in this particular match. They've never looked comfortable, either of them. I mean, the amazing thing is, they're still in it. I mean, it's a slim hope, but if they can get a few strikes together, even at this late stage, there's half a chance, but would you back them? No. Even when they get a good pocket hit, they're not getting the luck.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Martin just threw a pretty reasonable shot there for the pocket. It was just the angle the ball was coming in at. The 3 and the 6 didn't react to the 10-pin. The 6-pin just lays in the gutter. And the flat 10. Simple square for Williams. And the interesting thing is, Nick, of course, that Marshall Kent and Stuart Williams play the next match, singles.
Rash takes all 10 to effectively seal the point here. It's going to be 3 in a row for the Americans. Boy, they are building up ahead of steam.
They certainly are, yes. Yeah, great looking shot from the American captain. Extends the lead now to 37 pins and only 2 frames to go, so they're looking rather pleased with themselves.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it. You know, because you're going to do a whole lot more bowling today. I said, because you're going to do a whole lot more bowling today. For this session.
Again, just not in the pocket. We talked about the problems that Stuart Williams has had, but Martin's had his share as well.
Yeah, they've really struggled with this oiling pattern. They did actually select it. The European captain selected this oiling pattern, but this is a freshly dressed lane, and you would have thought that guys of this caliber would have sorted it out by now, but they do really seem to be struggling. This match is pretty much done and dusted.
Just remember, worth making the point as Williams misses to just put the seal on this disastrous showing from these two. Really, they have not gelled as a partnership. Neither of them has looked good. This, the oil pattern that Team Europe picked for themselves. They are falling apart on it.
It's got average and he got double.
I just want to explain that Stuart's practicing a strike shot. He wasn't going for that spare. He was just practicing another strike shot because he's up in the next game and really wants to get kind of locked and loaded on a decent strike line. So they've accepted the match is lost.
Balls, he wants to see what this does, where he's at.
Well, that went very wide. Maybe I think Marshall Kent was also trying something different for the next match because he's up next.
Yeah, you're quite right, Nick. Just seeing what reaction he would get from the outside of the lane.
Sean will take that away.
I'm gonna grab another one.
Well, Martin Larsen has to shoot a strike here for the European side to get through the 200 barrier.
While he's doing that, I think Marshall Kent has gone off to get himself another ball, so he's going to try yet another different ball. As ooh, yeah, he's trying a very, very wide line. There's the sub 200. Yeah, they would have got over 200 if they'd just tried to stay clean, but as you say, they're just, I mean, that says it all. By the 9th frame, they're practicing for next match up. They've been all over the place in every sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, it hasn't looked that good on TV, and it looks even worse on the score sheet.
Unlucky.
Lowest game of the tournament so far, 187 for the Larsen-Williams combo.
they've both got plenty of action still to come. They've both got a singles match to play, and Martin's got a doubles match as well. Signing off with a strike is a man who's also going to be busy for the rest of the afternoon, Marshall Kent. Well, that was pretty one-sided. And just like that, 3 wins in a row have restored American dominance. It was 4-1. The Europeans pulled it back to 4-4. The Americans pulling away here, and this on a lane that was dressed specifically for the Europeans as well. This is a very worrying time for Dominic Barrett and the rest of Team Europe. The USA running away with this session.
America increased their lead, the pressure building on the Europeans. Reaction and comment after the break. Team USA now enjoy a 3-point cushion over their European rivals in this, the 18th staging of the Weber Cup. It was a combination of team captains Sean Rash and Marshall Kent who took advantage of an out-of-sorts European duo of Williams and Larsen. Overall, the score goes to 7-4 to the Americans, with 3 more matches in this session for Europe to draw level. But for the moment, it's all about America, and the winning duo are now talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Well, Sean, the tactics seem to be paying off so far. You've got in the lead for this session, and Marshall's really performing as you'd hoped.
Like I said, it's one game at a time, one match at a time, one session at a time. But right now we have a lot of confidence. We've been bowling good all summer. And I told Marshall, so there's a reason why he's bowling 4 matches in a row. He's one of the best players in the world right now. He's got a lot of confidence. And our team believes in him, and we're going to be there right behind him every shot.
Definitely confidence from your captain there. How's the lane bowling out there today? Because we saw Europe struggling in that match, and even towards the end of the match, you seem to be having a few practice throws with the next game in mind.
Yeah, I kept the next match in mind, try a different ball, see if, I'm going to stick with the ball I started with this match, I think, but if I have to make a change, it's nice to know what's going to happen ahead of time and, playing ahead against Stu.
1 match down out of your 4-match marathon. Feeling confident and happy with everything out there?
Absolutely. I got comfortable very quickly out there, and I'm excited to see what happens in the next 3 games.
Marshall Kent given a vote of confidence by his new captain, now returns to the lane to face Stuart Williams. Commentary for this match comes from Cass Edwards, special guest Sean Rash and Nick Hawley.
I'm sure that back's not feeling too bad at the moment, the way your guys are playing. Sean, how are things standing for you, both physically and in terms of the competition so far?
Well, mentally, we're all doing really well. My back, I've got a little heat compressor on it right now and been stretching it and getting loose when I do have to bowl, but I'm done for this session, which is nice. Now I get to sit in these nice, comfortable chairs and speak to you guys for a little bit.
This has been a relatively easy session for you guys this afternoon. Are you surprised that it's been so comfortable for you, and do you see that continuing?
Nothing's easy. These guys are great players. We've gotten a couple good hits. You saw it there in Stu's interview. They're lost. They're trying to figure out where to play and just get going. And when you're lost, it's tough. One of the things that I was told back in the day when I first started was when you see guys sweating and not making great shots, they look confused and there's some negativity. And you can see that on the European side right now. And right now we seem calm and cool and collected and having a bunch of fun. So far it's been a good 4 games for us, and we got 3 matches left, and we're looking forward to hopefully getting 1 or 2 more points out of these last 3.
Sean, yeah, you're certainly right. And Stuart Williams is the man that's really sweating up in the paddock, isn't he?
Well, Stu's a big guy, but look, he's struggling. He doesn't have a great ball reaction, so he's second-guessing himself, and that's the toughest thing in sports, is second-guessing yourself.
This is going across the board, though. It's not just Stuart Williams. Martin Larsen was struggling. We saw Jesper Svensson lose as well. I mean, it's you know, it can become contagious, can't it, struggling, and it seems to be infecting the Europeans pretty badly right now.
Look, it's early. I want to be very optimistic and very positive and confident right now, but we're only 11 matches in. There's how many matches left possibly? We still need 12 more points to win. The goal right now is that, like I said, get 1 or 2 more out of these last 3 out of Marshall. Maybe you can get them all, but we're looking forward to just making good shots and see what happens.
Yeah, it's a very good point, Sean, that you make there. Weber Cups are not won on a Saturday afternoon, that is for certain. But anyway, here's the marathon man, Marshall Kent, coming out of doubles play into singles play and opening up with not a pocket hit.
No, that was left off his hand, 3-6-10. He's throwing an IQ Tour, which is a smooth ball for them and Marshall. And he's very, very confident in this ball, but that was just in off his hand.
They're playing on the burn as such, Sean, because it's the second game on after the dressing, but maybe the All shouldn't have moved around that much after just one game.
Cass, you'd be surprised. It moves quite a bit.
Ooh.
Errant shot there. 5-10 minutes of just sitting there. Also, they probably both got 3 or 4 extra practice shots. I bet they both moved 4 or 5 left with their feet. But tough start there for Marshall.
Sure, yeah, hear what you say.
Was it you yesterday, Sean, that started with an open frame, still came back to win, or was that one of your colleagues? I know somebody got an open early and it didn't affect them.
Well, I opened early. I left a 7-10, and that was a match I lost to Dom. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, but I mean, if you're going to open, anytime you're going to bowl a match, it's better to do in the first frame.
Stuart Williams would just love to get a strike. Now that changes things.
Well, it's certainly got the crowd going. Full support there for Stu Williams, and a first strike in a long, long time.
Definitely a different look there for Stuart Williams. Changed balls. He's farther left than he was. I believe that was an alpha crux, and he was a lot farther left than he was against us in the doubles match.
Trying to keep cool.
Stuart's an emotional guy. Loves to ride on the emotions. You get him going, he's tough to beat. That was a lot better shot from Marshall.
Yep, he's back on track.
That had to be a couple right of his last shot.
So Stuart Williams, he won't want to be changing any channel. He'll keep the channel exactly where it was for his last ball. Now, can he replicate the last strike? No, he can't. Ooh, dear, oh dear.
Gosh.
And that one just never got as far right down lane.
Yeah, I thought
in
it
my opinion, that
maybe a little bit low on speed as well, Sean, but it's the 4.67 he's got staring at him. Odds are that's going to be an open frame.
And he's shocked by it.
A big reaction in the back end, but didn't break anything up, unfortunately.
Get 2 and move on.
So an open frame apiece, but this is high-level sport. We are talking about a bunch of bowlers that are amongst the very best in the world, and Sean, when you've got one of them down, or more than one of them down, you can't afford to be sympathetic. You've got to keep them down, haven't you?
No, not at all. I mean, we're all friends off the lanes, or acquaintances, or hang out here and there. But right now, it's us against them and man against man. Pretty evident earlier with what Jesper had to say about Kyle. It's got to go.
Yeah. Got a little bit of action there just to kick out the 9.
So here's. Interrupt you real quick, Cass. Here's the funny thing about our scoring system, that after 3 frames, Marshall realistically would be ahead if we were doing the traditional bowling. But because of the world 10-pin scoring, if they both strike out, Marshall loses.
By the 1 pin, yeah, you're quite right, of course.
I love the scoring for the non-bowler. As a traditionalist, it's really tough.
Oh gosh, they hate it. Yeah, I get league bowlers come and say it's not going to come to my centre. We hate it. Blah blah blah. You know, but no, I explained that it's made for TV. It's made for world finals in certain tournaments and exhibitions, and for that, it's just great.
Well, no matter what the scoring system, this is a man in some trouble.
That was a lot farther right down lane.
That's a bit more like it.
I believed he moved in a little bit. It looked like his laydown was farther left than the shot before, which helps push the ball through the front and the mid lane and gets just right of that down lane marker.
A tight, intense match as we head to the break. Williams looking to haul Europe back in this tournament. Welcome back to the Weber Cup, where Europe and the USA are battling for the greatest prize in Team 10-pin. There's little to choose in this match currently taking place. Stuart Williams against Marshall Kent. The American hoping to increase his side's overall lead. Williams hoping to haul Europe back into contention. Commentary from Cass Edwards, Sean Rash and Nick Halling.
He is such a competitor, this man. There's no way he's just going to accept that he's struggling. He's going to play his way out of it if he possibly can. And it keeps the pressure on Kent. Oh, dear, oh dear.
That was firm and a little spinny.
2-4-8-10 is not the easiest spur to shoot at. It's kind of makeable, but the odds are against it.
On a difficult oil pattern, agreed.
Just didn't break anything up. Just clip the head pin right-hand side and no drive behind it to set up any chain reaction in the pin deck.
So he'll stay with his strike ball here, try to hook it, slide the 2-pin into the 10-pin. And this got a chance.
Oh, he got it. My word. Well, Sean, talk us through that one.
Well, because of the difficulty of the spare, you want the ball to slide, be on the left side of the 2-pin. The ball will take the 2-pin into the 10. The 2 will slide across there and take the 10 out. The ball will hit the 4. The 4 takes the 8-pin out.
Not something you see that often on TV. What a great spare.
That is a very good spare. And that also keeps Stewart honest right now.
Yes, indeed. And when you're bowling, and I've been saying this all along, Sean, you don't really want to spend too much time thinking about the other guy. I'm sure you're just focused on your own game, but Williams will be aware of what happened there.
That was left. He got away with that one. That could have been a big 4 again.
It really could.
He's very fortunate there.
For a fraction of a second, I thought it was the big 4, and I think Stewart did as well, but as you say, he's pretty lucky to break them up.
I would have to guess our friends at Specto over here, if we looked at his first and third frame, very similar. His second and fourth frame, very similar. First and third frame right of the marker down lane. Second and fourth frame right at the marker. So a couple boards difference.
But his body language is just yelling out to us, I'm not comfortable on this lane, I haven't worked it out.
Yeah, he's still not comfortable. You can see him, he was on the chair talking to one of his teammates. Now he just walked over talking to one of his teammates. Marshall was doing the same thing after the first frame, so trying to get advice. The reason why you have those teammates and we have those ball reps on tours, we can't see the first 15 feet of the lane when we let go. You watch every single one of our follow-throughs. They go right in front of our face, covers our eyes. Once that arm gets out of the way, the ball goes past the arrows and we see it.
Well, again, he's not in the pocket, and again, he's really left himself with some work.
Well, the typical move when you miss light, the next shot's high. Well, that's exactly what happened.
Well, he got out of the last one, Sean. How does he get out of this one?
Well, I would have to imagine he's going to hook at this one as well. He's going to move farther left with his feet. He's going to try to get the ball. Oh, he's going to use his spare ball. He's still going to hook it a little bit, get the ball on the right side of the 3-pin, and hopefully the 3-pin slides over and hits the 4.
Which was asking a lot. Another open frame.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. Really didn't give that one a chance. Just took the 2 pins out, so it is another open frame, just 8 pins. Well, chances for Stuart Williams here.
What a bonus this would be for Europe if they can get a win out of a Stuart Williams who's really battling and scrapping for everything on this lane.
I have a feeling this game's going to go all the way down to the 10th frame, even though Stewart's up 25 right now through 5.
Yeah, you wouldn't rely or guarantee on anything. Oh, and he gets a rather fortuitous strike. But when you're struggling like Stu Williams is, you'll take everything you can get.
Very fortunate little kick up the rear end here on this 4-pin. It's high on the head pin.
Yep.
6-pin's come back.
Looked like the 2-pin and came back off the 7 and knocked it over.
Yep, sure.
He's talking about slowing down there. I don't think slowing down is a good thing for him right now in his ball reaction. I don't think it's good for either one of them, to be honest.
He was talking about exactly that when he was in doubles play as well. Sat next to Martin Larsen. He was talking about slowing it down. Now this is a big ball.
This is a ball change.
Well, it hasn't produced. He's lucky to avoid a split. Well, where's the pockets hit? The pocket hit's gone for Marshall.
Yes, the lane in the front and the mid lane is hoking so much that I would have to imagine Marshall's next move will be a little bit of loft, if not a lot of loft, to clear the front part of the lane.
Oh, right. Well, that'll be interesting. We haven't seen hardly any of that in the tournament so far.
No, not at all. The only one that's done it so far was E.J. Tackett in his doubles match earlier with Kyle. He did it in the 9th frame, and it put the match away. But this match is, in my mind, over. I know we still have 4 frames left, but something drastic would have to happen to Stewart. He's close to the pocket on the 2 times he's missed, and he's coming with a little confidence. And like I said, you don't want to let Stewart get some confidence. He'll get going.
He is the worst guy in the world to allow a bit of confidence to build, because he is a very emotional player, and when it's going well, he will ride that wave.
Well, he's definitely the emotional player on their team. They all have it, but when he's down, the whole team's down.
A strike will pretty much lock Marshall Kent out of this one. He didn't get it. He's left it wide open instead.
Here's the funny part. We talked about it after 3 frames. This traditional scoring, Marshall should still be ahead. Right now, Stewart's still way ahead.
It's crazy in that scenario, isn't it? Again, he's high through the headpin. 4, 6, 7 standing.
And I said it was way over, and now things have just completely changed.
Now, to be serious, whilst Marshall can get back into this, how concerned are you, given that Marshall has got 2 more matches to play on this lane condition as well? How concerned are you that he has been so up and down in this match?
Well, I'm not concerned at all, because they're going to redress after this match, and he bowled phenomenally in the fresh with me as a partner. I think EJ will do a little talking before they start. EJ will start farther right to help his reaction and look, and I think we'll have a different game plan once we get to the second match in the singles match in this afternoon session. And that was a really good shot there by Marshall.
That keeps him in this point.
Absolutely. Now it's, you know, if Stewart opens again, Marshall would take the lead. Stewart marks. He stays up by just a few.
Still a long way to go as well. And we have had a bit of everything. We've had 2 open frames from Kent, 2 open frames from Williams. I think we've had 1 double. That's it. Early from the American.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. Just the 1 double so far. Now Stewart's just he's had a look at the score sheet. He knows exactly the position of the game. Knows exactly what he needs to do.
We know every single shot. What's good and what's bad.
Well, here's the pattern for Stuart Williams. It's been strike, open, strike, spare, strike, open. So statistically, he's due a strike.
Correct, and the spare that he had there in the 4th frame could have been the same exact lead he left in the 2nd and 6th frame. Both the spare that he left in the 4th was the 4-7. So that's another good shot.
Takes all 10, back on strike.
Because of Stewart's unique follow-through, when his ball, like that one, got really through it there, you guys can see it got almost all the way up to his face. He is very good at his touch. When he cuts it short is when he leaves those 4-6s, 4-7s. But when he extends through it, he's very tough to beat, getting it through the front part of the lane. He's got very good touch when it's this far left.
Yeah, and certainly got the full width of the lane there. And a great reaction in the back end.
So frame 8 here, and Marshall Kent knows the situation. This has got to be all 10.
That was a good shot, just left.
Yeah, there's his frustration.
Yeah. Well, he had a chance to put some pressure on Stewart there. Stewart now only needs to throw one more strike and fill the other 2 frames out of the last 3 frames.
Yeah, Marshall was a bit fortunate there. I think the 4-9 was standing at one stage. Here's the 4-9, and the 9's just gone. So it makes it a simple single pin spare.
But again, we're looking at lower scores than we were seeing last night, right across the board.
Yeah, it's something to do with the lane pattern. It's obviously it's 4 feet shorter than yesterday or last night, and it's certainly having the effect on the guys out there on the lane.
Yeah, I don't think Europe wants to go in a strike match versus my teammates. Those guys have a very high rev rate and throw lots of strikes. I'm the old guy in the group, and my rev rate's definitely a lot lower, and I can flat 10 a lot easier than they do nowadays.
Sean, you're not the old guy in this particular group, let me tell you that.
Well, maybe age is wisdom, right?
That's what I tell myself.
See, that one's... That was left that time. That was firm. And a very good shot. And pretty much puts this match away.
And how big a point would this be in the context of things, with Williams struggling, and he's managed to fight his way to a point here and just end this streak of American wins.
2 big strikes in a row, and he looks happier, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a lot more comfortable. We have a max score of 219.
The interesting thing with Williams, he's not talking. He is just focused and working so hard. Well, back on strike as well. Marshall Kent. Well, I think he knows the game's up as far as this point's concerned.
He's pretty frustrated because he knew he needed the 1 in the 8th. Probably knew he needed all of them to have a chance. He only had 1 chance to miss. And these guys, it doesn't matter if it's them or us. You just can't give us too many openings. And I think both of these guys gave each other too many.
Yep.
And Stewart took advantage of it at the last minute.
And as you say, Sean, Marshall knows that all Stu Williams needs is to stay clean now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a scrappy game through to about the 7th frame, and Stu's taken advantage since then. And this one could well sew it up.
That's a good shot.
It's a turkey for Stu Williams.
Doesn't he look different?
Definitely looks different, trying to give Marshall the business there, but I don't understand why, because he just won his first point of the tournament. I'll be a little hindsight 2020. They're still down 2. I don't think Marshall's feeling any negativity. He just made a couple of bad shots, and he knows they're going to re-oil, and he's excited about the next match.
And he's finishing strongly as well here with a double. He's up next with E.J. Tackett. Fair to say E.J.'s not had the greatest introduction to the Weber Cup.
No, not at all, but he got his first point just a few minutes ago, and I'm not worried one bit.
Stuart Williams has certainly been bowling like a man who's not worried. Well, he'll finish with a spare, but he'll also finish with a sigh of relief as well. He's back in business, Europe back in business. But I don't think this is a match that either of these players will be putting on their highlight reels. 235 for Williams, 219 for Marshall Kent. They will now redress the lane, and that ends the streak of American wins. Sean, thank you very much indeed for joining us. How do you think the next 2 are going to go?
Well, I'm looking forward to winning both points for our team. I'm thinking Marshall's going to get it done.
Well, that's what we'll find out soon enough, because Marshall Kent with E.J. Tackett will be going up against the Swedish partnership of Martin Larsen and Jesper Svensson. The Weber Cup back on. 7-5, USA lead Europe.
The Americans, who have won 3 on the trot, were stopped in their tracks by Stuart Williams, who may not have produced an outstanding performance, but he did enough to overcome Marshall Kent. A vital point for Europe, who closed the gap to just 2 points, with 2 more matches to come in this session. Williams is now talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Well, Stu, just how important was that win for both you and the whole European team?
Yeah, I mean, we were in a pretty awkward situation, and we had to win 2 out of the last 3 games to keep ourselves on track. So, you know, we got 1 game, and now Jesper and Martin are going up, and hopefully the Swedish connection can keep us going.
You obviously found your form towards the end of the match, but earlier in the game you looked to be struggling. How is the lane playing out there, and why is it causing so many problems?
Well, I mean, Dominic came and, you know, he put us in our place. He explained to us what we needed to do, and, you know, I went out and I tried to make good shots. The lane's starting to break down a little bit more, and it's, you know, it's a lot more challenging than the pattern they picked last night, and usually that's good for us, but, you know, we haven't bowled well enough. But, I mean, with 2 games left, we can still win this session. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Looking ahead to the couple more matches coming up this afternoon, Martin's back in. He's yet to really find his form in this Weber Cup. What's the mood in the team, and what advice will you be passing on to him after your victory on how to play this lane?
Well, I think Martin knows what to do. He's just not been making good enough shots, and me and him were both in the same position. And I think that now he's going to have a clearer picture of what he wants to do, and he's going to go out there and do it.
There's been a lot of fighting talk so far today, both teams giving a little bit of snide comments at each other. Do you feel like you've silenced the Americans a little bit now, because the crowd is starting to really get behind you?
Trust me, I live in America. You can never silence an American. So I'm in the same boat, you know. I'm going to come out fighting. I reminded Marshall, he's got a long session now. Once you start to lose, it's pretty easy to keep losing.
Thanks very much, Stu.
Thank you.
Williams putting the pressure on Marshall Kent. An intriguing last few matches in this session. The pressure on Kent applied by Stuart Williams of Team Europe in this year's Weber Cup.